Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. And thank you to my 1,373 subscribers. Got 2 more in the last couple days. Welcome. I know you will find something of value for you here. Today, the topic is going to be life's challenges. We all have many challenges, and sometimes we wonder why they happen. What possible good could come from these? Well, I'm going to tell you right after this. You have to be strong enough to endure these things. You have to approach women. With today's social media, she's constantly being hit on. Women are always in the game. You have to stay focused. We are men. That's what we do. All right, let's get after it. Are you ready? Here we go. Challenges. Some of you may be going through some difficult challenges today, or some of you have been through some difficult challenges in the past. Maybe you're still bitter about some of those things that happened to you. What is the old adage? You can either let life make you better or bitter. Best to let it make you better, because you can't change the past. But what we can do is learn from it. And I'm telling you, the best time to learn, or at least the time that you're searching for answers more persistently and with more determination, is when you're going through some difficult times. When you're trying to find a way out or a way through. Better to go through than to escape, because whatever you run away from, you're going to run into. These challenges have come to you to teach you something about yourself, to expand you, to make you grow. Think about this. The suicide rate in 2019 had risen 30-some% here in the US, but it dropped during the pandemic. Why is that? You would think more people would want to kill themselves during the pandemic because things were tough, things were challenging, things were difficult to say the least. I did not participate in the pandemic, but I know some people were very challenged by it. And some people were challenged by the restrictions and the mandates laid down by the people who supposedly knew best. There's always seems like there's someone who knows what's best for you, right? Well, I think we all know what's best for ourselves, but that's another video. Let me see, where am I going? The challenges. I could go off on a rant about that, but I won't do that. Regardless of what your view is on what happened, it was a challenging time for most people. Okay, so the suicide rate actually went down during this time. That doesn't make any logical sense, does it? Unless you look at life in a way differently from most people. Men, we need challenges. So during the pandemic, people were challenged, so they weren't depressed. They had something to challenge them, something to fight against, some adversity, if you like. It gave meaning to their lives. Men, we need meaning in our lives. And unless we have challenges, self-imposed or seemingly opposed from outside sources, we shrink, we wither up, and we die. We get depressed. We're not expanding. These challenges help us to expand. The universe is constantly expanding. If it was contracting, it would destroy itself. Maybe that's what a black hole is. I'm not sure. I'm not too up on astronomy. But the point I'm making here is everything is expanding. And if you are not expanding along with the universe, you are contracting, which leads to depression. I would say the cases of depression may have been less during the pandemic also, because people usually, at least for men, people usually commit suicide when they're depressed. But yet the suicide rate dropped during the pandemic. It makes perfect sense to me because people were challenged. The problem in the West, or the Western world, is this. We have made things so comfortable, so easy, that the challenges are few. Not like in the days of old, when there were many challenges, many things confronted us, just so we could survive and our families could survive. But yet we had a better, more happier life in the olden days than we do now, even though we have more comforts, more security, and more safety. I know if you watch the news, headline news, you would think the world is a more dangerous place than it ever has been. But that's not true. It's safer now statistically than it ever has been. People have more food. There's more abundance now than there ever has been since the beginning of time. Then how do we explain people wanting to check out, wanting to kill themselves because their life is so bad? How do you explain young men growing up in $500,000, $1 million homes, brand new car when they're 16, computers, all the luxuries of life, saying they're depressed and they feel oppressed and depressed and they just want to check out and they go get on medicines, antidepressants. Nothing against antidepressants, I'm just making a point here. How do you explain that when they have all the comforts of life, more than kings and queens back in the days of old? Because they have no adversity. They're pampered, they're snowflakes. They need to be challenged. They need to be taken out in the woods when they're 15 or 16 and left overnight to make their own way. Oh, that sounds terrible. You would probably get thrown in jail for child abuse if you did such a thing to a 15 or 16-year-old. But yet I did those things when I was younger of my own volition. And some of my friends too. That's what we did. Things like that. Because we wanted adventure. But kids don't have adventure. They have their adventure through simulation on Xbox Live. Doesn't do the same thing for you. You need adventure. That's why we have boot camps for grown adult men, because they never grew up. They never were challenged when they were young. They were pampered. They became snowflakes, and they don't like themselves. So they go into a boot camp to be treated rough, to go through some challenges, to prove to themselves that they are men. We've forgotten what it's like to be men in this Western world. We forgot what men do. We speak, or at least some of the narratives, speak like masculinity is bad. Kids are almost taught in school that they should not be masculine. They should be like the little girls. Sit in your row. Well, in my community, the kids can't even run on the playground for fear they may get a skinned knee. I'm not saying people should get hurt or the kids should do dangerous things, although that's what makes kids into men. We need these challenges. Why do you think people go out and bungee jump, climb mountains, straight up cliffs, parachute? Because they need that. We are human beings. We need these things to help us to grow, to gain inner strength and character. What do you think about the men of old? They would go off to battle for years, even as, I want to say near, but it wasn't that long ago in 1944, I think, the Normandy invasion, D-Day, there were kids. You want to call them kids now? I'll say young men. I don't like the word teenagers. There were young men, 16 and 17 years old, that stormed that beach at Normandy and died. Now those boys were men, but now we treat people now that are 18, 19, even college kids like they need a safe place. They need a safe place where they can share their feelings and be vulnerable. And I'm all about sharing your feelings to another man, to a mentor, but not to a psychologist. Well, maybe a psychologist, but most psychologists, anyway, I've gone to psychologists. They help me, I'll say that. I won't go off on them guys. They do their best, and a lot of them are great, and I've been helped by many. Well, not by many, by a few. One in particular, I've only gone to a couple. But the point I'm making here, you can get the same thing from a man who's been through experiences. Now, I could have gotten the same thing from a man, a mentor, which I did later in my life, but at the time I did not have a mentor. So I went to a psychologist. But most of these men haven't been through hard times, rough times, and difficult times. And that's what you need. You need an older man, a mentor, or someone who's been through the ringer, who can tell you that, hey, you're going through that ringer now, but if you go through it and don't run from it by drinking or doing drugs or taking some kind of medication to soothe the pain, you will come out on the other side a bigger, stronger, and more reliable, dependable man with integrity. And if you want to be successful in life, you've got to have those characters to be successful, to maintain success. Everybody wants the big prize, but nobody wants to go through the struggle to get there. Lord knows I don't. If you would have told me when I was 21 or 18, maybe 15 for me, this is what you got to go through to be fulfilled and happy in your life at 61, I would have said, hey, it sounds great, but thanks, but no thanks. But here I am. I went through it. I was drugged through it by a power greater than myself. That's the way I look at it, because my life is wonderful if I just allow it to flow. I set a goal, I set a direction, and I am guided by something greater than myself. Call it higher self, call it God, call it divinity, call it what you like. But it helps to have something to believe in besides your conscious, rational mind, because there comes a time when it can't figure anything out. They say, the infamous whoever they are, that only about 5% of our actions are consciously done. The rest of them are already pre-programmed by our subconscious mind. That's why some people can work and work for success but never get there, because their subconscious is running their life. But you can connect with this subconscious. And the best time to connect with it is through the challenges, when you are at your end, when you've done all you can do and you can't do any more. And you're done, you're finished. You can let go and allow this power greater than yourself to work things out for you. And it will. It works every time. And it even works when you're resisting, when you're fighting against everything that's moving you in a certain direction, and you don't want to go there because you think that's not what you want. You're not going to get what you want because it's not what you thought you wanted. But it takes you there anyway. And when you get there, and after you're there a while, you think, man, this is great. I am so glad I didn't get what I thought I wanted. So even kicking and screaming, this power will take you to where you really desire to be. And you may say, well then Mark, what's the sense of setting goals if this power knows where I want to go? Then why should I even try to make up my own mind to where I want to go? Because you have to set off in a direction to be guided. And this power can only guide you. You can fight it, you can resist it, and you can cause a lot of problems in your life and get yourself into a lot of crap. And I've done that because I'm bullheaded. But I've learned not to be bullheaded with this power. God, divinity. It really doesn't matter. Call it Luis if you like. That's a Wayne Dyer quote there. Wayne, I like Wayne. Call it whatever you like. It's the same power, and it lives within each of us. Each of us. It's in you, it's in me, it's in everything. And if you learn to cooperate with this power, you will have success beyond your wildest dreams. Now, to cooperate with this power, you have to be willing to walk through fear. That is the one thing that it asks of you. Face fear, and it will disappear. Face fear, and you will achieve your dreams. Face fear, and everything you ever desired will be brought to you, or you will walk into it. You must walk through the fear, And these challenges that you're having in your life today are a prerequisite to this success that you desire tomorrow. You must face the fears. And as you face a small fear, the next fear is a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger. You think these guys that are extremely successful have not faced fear and ridicule and have haters? I mean, it just goes on and on. You want what they have, but are you willing to go to any length to get it? And many times that any length is to surrender to the way things are, do what's in front of you, and then let go and allow things to work out. This power that lies within you can see everything. You can only see with your five senses, and you make judgments by that. And that's why you get discouraged. That's why you become afraid. That's why you don't succeed, because you allow fear and doubt to diminish your power, to diminish your strength to walk through the challenges to the other side, which is where you desire exists. If there is a devil, it's fear and doubt. It destroys more things than anything else. Look back on your life. Look back on the decisions you made because of fear and doubt, or the decisions you didn't make because fear and doubt controlled you. Where would you have been today? Where might you have been today? What might you have had today had you not allowed yourself to be controlled by fear and doubt? What if you had faced those things with courage and walked through them? What reality would you be into now? Whether you create your future by your thoughts or you step into a different reality of your future by your thoughts really doesn't matter. The bottom line is you become what you think about. And what you think about, you bring about. But when you bring it about, you have to be able to accept it. And to accept it, you have to walk through the fear and the doubt. That is your part. To accept anything in life that's grander than what you have today, 9 times out of 10, or almost always, you are going to have to walk through some fear and some doubt. And if I'm pissing you off with this, if this aggravates you or you think it's stupid, I'll guarantee you, you are letting fear and doubt stop you in your life. You have the courage to accomplish what you came here to accomplish, but only you can do that. This higher power, this God, this higher self will not do that for you. You have free will to be successful or to be a failure. That's your choice. That's the choice of free will. What are you going to choose today? That's it. Like and subscribe. Hit the PayPal donate button if this has been of value to you and you want to donate. If not, come on back tomorrow. Again, thank you to my 1,373 subscribers. I appreciate you. I hope this is helping you. And if this didn't, tomorrow will. Take care.